Hello everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in. Today's video is basically going to be a continuation of my previous video on the Homunculi and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. So I highly recommend you check it out after this video so you can get a full picture of everything I'm talking about. Today's video, I'm going to cover the homunculi from FMAB and the psychology behind the traits they exhibit and how they demonstrate corruption in everyday life. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Pride as a sin is all about believing that you are so superior that you don't even have to acknowledge God, and thinking so highly of yourself that it becomes self-destructive because of the blindness that it causes. Although also a trait in all of the other homunculi, it is explicitly brought up multiple times that the character of Pride thinks incredibly high of itself and views humans as an inferior and wastes of space. His own views of perfection and excellence is actually what leads to his downfall. He thinks so little of humans that he sees himself as unbeatable, blinding him to the real threat that Edward poses to him. In psychology, there are a good few reasons why humans have grown to be prideful. The first reason has to do with being part of a community. People feel that it's necessary to let others know the value that they hold and can provide others with, so they shout out from the rooftops to be seen and get attention. But some people go even further with that drive and make it their sole motivation. Some people also use pride as a means to mask and cover up their own insecurities and poor feelings about themselves. They try to appear to others as perfect and successful as a means to hide their deep failings from others and even themselves. Envy revolves around never being content, much in the same vein as those I discussed in the first video. Envy is an anger and dissatisfaction towards others' success, as well as harboring a desire to bring down others because of that success. Envy's purest representation is shown so well through the power that the character holds, that being shape-shifting. Envy is never satisfied with what they have and envies all the forms that humans and others have. This shows through envy disguising itself as others and killing them, which can be seen as an expression of jealousy for their true forms. Although in the context of the story, the killing mainly just happens at the order of Father. In terms of psychology, envy can be driven by many factors, but there's one that I feel fits the character pretty well, that being the mental framework of scarcity. If others have something you want, mentally, even though it may not be true in reality, it makes you feel like you're missing out on more, and your chances of success are decreasing. For the character of envy, this would be the humanity that people have. Envy envies this, and thinks that to get what they want, they must eliminate the competition. We see this gross, pathetic nature come to its full effect when envy is defeated, and eventually commits suicide when they realize they will never get what they truly desire. Wrath, in my eyes, is by far the most directly dangerous of the 7 deadly sins, because it isn't about jealousy or desire or anything like that. It is pure hatred and rage, emotions and feelings that directly correlate to seriously harmful thoughts and actions. Anger is just a feeling of being seriously upset and discontent and applying your own dissatisfaction to many different aspects of your life. This is very similar to the concept of displacement, where your anger is just projected onto things they think of as a less threatening or dangerous target. This is absolutely not the case with wrath, though. Wrath is specific, targeted. The target of the character of Wrath is obviously humanity as a whole. Whenever he has the chance to attack those who he loathes, he lets out all of the rage that he's been storing inside of him, making both the character and the sin incredibly dangerous. The real psychological explanation for why we as humans feel wrath starts in the amygdala, the part of the brain that plays a vital role in emotional expression and control. The amygdala first assesses the target of the wrath, which would just be what provoked the emotional response in the first place, like an insult, sudden danger, or threat to power in the instance of long-term rage that the character of Wrath feels. After this, hormones flood throughout your body in order to get you highly energized, these hormones being some like cortisol and adrenaline. Because of these hormones and the overridden signals in the amygdala, the logical thinking part of the brain is momentarily suppressed, causing you to make very irrational and often dangerous decisions. Gluttony is the sin of overconsumption, taking far more than is necessary and even taking from others in order to get what you want. Much like the other sins that have been mentioned, gluttony relies heavily on humanity's intrinsic drive of desire and wanting more and more, which eventually leads to total corruption. It's made very clear to the audience that the character of gluttony is a perfect representation of the sin, mainly through him wanting to constantly eat things and people. An interesting piece of symbolism that furthers the message trying to be portrayed is that gluttony's stomach is bottomless and never-ending, paralleling how in humanity, even if you have everything in the world, nothing will ever scratch that itch or desire. Much the same with other sins, gluttony is fueled by a hormone-driven loop, specifically dopamine, which is basically just a happy hormone, making you feel good. When you eat or do anything pleasurable, your brain releases dopamine, but over time you need to consume more and more to get that same response. This is known as hedonic adaptation, the driving force of the 7 deadly sins. As always though, thank you so very much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed today's video and learned something new. If you could please like, subscribe, and drop a comment on what you thought of today's video, it would mean a lot. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.